enough because Jameson is in the way. There we go.
Oh, I just pulled up the trailer.
There we go.
You're holding it up well.
I'm doing a great job.
Okay.
He's a pro. She's a natural. My spy. Coming soon.
Ugh.
They're doing the thing where they're both leaning against the edge of the screen.
Oh my god.
Jasper's right. That's going to be it. Like, you and Jason called it, and I was like, I don't know. Maybe Playmobil. No, you guys are right.
I'll put money on that those are not their bodies.
What, in the poster?
Oh. Yeah, in the poster. Those are their heads superimposed on other people's bodies, like a Pretty Woman thing.
Oh. You know what? You might be right. It's really pixelated on my phone because it's like a screen grab.
What I'm saying is that's indicative of the rest of the movie, is what I'm saying.
Ugh.
That's true. I don't know. The Dora the Explorer, the premise of the Dora the Explorer movie is that she spent her life exploring jungles, and now she has to explore the most dangerous place, high school. Which also sounds really bad.
Yeah, this doesn't seem bad so much as just forgettable. Like,
we'll find out.
Actually, never mind. It looks awful. Let's watch this. Let's not go lower, please.
I mean,
no, we do the lowest Rotten
we
Tomatoes
never know.
score.
There could be a dark horse that comes out of nowhere at the last minute.
It might be 47 feet down.
I don't know anything about it. There might be a Medea movie that slips in there. We don't know. We don't know.
That's how Medea movies typically
go. They just kind of... they just appear. I mean, it will be Atlanta. I'm just saying, if a Medea movie does appear, it will be in Atlanta.
It could be a knockoff Medea, which is even like...
Medua.
LaQuisha, if you will.
Oh, no, not LaQuisha.
Oh, no. Right. I forgot about that. I tried to erase that from my head.
Oh, my God.
So how you guys doing? How's life?
Another day. It's been wild.
Valerie's in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And Susan's busy, so this is it.
Wow, I'm going to be a big help tonight.
Honestly, I think we're just late. I don't know how much progress we made since last time.
You finished all of the regions.
Dude!
So...
That's something.
I'm watching from afar. I'm watching the comments in the Discord, and it's like, nailed it, finished a thing, I got everything done, nailed it, got it, another one down. And I'm like, I'll get to something soon, I swear. I promise.
You've been helping us with the Dragon Con ads.
Yeah, also,
true.
There's a lot that has to, there's a lot that has to be done before layout. I think that's one of the last things. So, like, God knows, Susan and Val didn't have anything to look at to proofread before recently. But all 15 regions now have at least 3 tables. Mm-hmm. Some have 4, and I'll probably be going back to add stuff later, but first pass is done for all of them.
Yes. A lot of regions are done. A lot of NPCs are done. I got a few in the canister. Like, Susan just sent me Althea earlier yesterday, I think. And I have a few others. But the last 2 days have been recap. I wrote the whole recap. So, and that's done.
Nice. Okay. Cool.
So that'll be up for Dragon Con.
I've done a little bit of actual editing this week, which I'm proud of. Not as much as I planned, but we're getting there. Most of my time, as you know, has been dealing with the team.
Yep.
So I have more art to show when we're ready to get into that.
Ooh. I'm excited.
I haven't heard yet back from Zach on the final Avalan, but he's been pretty excited by what he's I've shown him so far. So I don't expect to be much critique there because it looks. I mean, it looks really good.
It does. Yeah. That came together really well.
Truthfully, I saw that and I'm replaying. I mean, I'm in the group, right? And I'm not sure until this happened. I really had a good sense of what Avalan really even looked like. To me, if it was like a dream, it would be like, I can't really picture them. They kind of have a little bit of a haziness to their face. But now I'm replaying and saying like,
like lock right into place, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I always just pictured Zach, but like scruffier and with bug eyes. So.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
it's good to have something else.
I don't know. For somebody who hasn't actually listened to the show, I feel like this is about as close a depiction as an artist would get blind to me. For such a weird character to catch anyway, to depict. So
yeah, I do picture that headshot. Yep, I picture that headshot strangling the old like man. Like it's like no, that fits.
With like that blank stare, right? It's just like it all happening inside, but the face is just like.
I picture him making that face as he's walking from the old man's house to go find everybody. Like, oh,
back really, really straight, like.
But inside is just chaos. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just waiting to hear back from Zach about that. But he's been thrilled with everything I've shown him so far. So I think we can essentially consider Avalan to be done. I have a Grend for you guys.
Ooh, a finished Grend.
I'm gonna see a Grend.
I'm gonna show you a Grend. That is pencils, and here is some rough colors.
Discord, I'm guessing.
In the Discord, yeah. Sorry, I should have.
No, you're fine.
Is that the sound of a Grend?
Yes. Sounds a lot like a baby.
Put a couple of filters on it, slow it down a little bit.
It's a different cryptid. It wanders my house.
All right.
Okay, that looks pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
Need a human figure for scale, I feel.
Yeah, that's the tough thing, because otherwise it'll just look like an eagle or something like that. Like if you pan back, it's like, oh, that's big.
Yeah, I mean, we can literally take one of
talons.
We can literally take a silhouette of one of our full body pieces and just shrink it down. And
True. Yeah. So. That's pretty awesome.
I like that.
Yeah.
The flats for the Countess and Nathaniel are the last bits I've got. Okay, hold on. For everybody out there watching,
for both of them, they're both hot.
That's Avalan.
Oh, man.
Ugh. So okay, Nathaniel.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Let me get that a little bigger. There we go. So you got Nathaniel.
Spoilers, everybody, but you knew that coming in. This is like the 4th time we've done this. God damn, she's pretty.
She is.
Fuck.
Yeah, she came out really well. So I should be getting finals for them soon. And Adam's moving on to who we pick? Seraph?
Seraph and oh, I can't remember. It's on the image list.
Tharn. Tharn's this big rabid orc from the Brugal clan. So I figured those two kind of.
So we're gonna keep him doing the sex appeal thing.
Yes, just big sexy orc. That's
okay. Okay, good. I was just going to ask, Bree, if you've been updating the image list, because I haven't. I've been working just off of the artist list. Okay. So do you guys want to pick 1 or 2 new people for Rock to work on?
We already did. Actually, we were thinking that he could do Anvin's bust next.
Okay.
But you might have to bother Michael for that, because I'm not sure if he ever filled it in.
I'm perfectly comfortable kicking his door down for that. That's fine.
So we're just going down like A to Z for most of.
Okay.
So.
Is Anvin's a bust, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Where do we want to just give him that for now, or do we want to do another one? I'm fine either way.
Do you want to start with Anvin?
Yeah, let's start with Anvin and see.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still working on Elrath. Speaking of Elrath, I let Rock know to hold off until we get the design for the flail.
Yeah.
Smart.
And I hit up Ashley last night. It was like, hey, remember how I told you to hold off on the flail? Do the flail first.
Yeah.
I sent her the design that Thomas did a couple years back with his Elrath depiction.
Yeah.
Because at the very least I like the scale of it. I like the size of it compared to her.
That's the two things I wanted to nail was the scale of it, because it was a Minotaur weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it should be like a big two-handed maul thing for her.
Yeah, it should be oversized, and it also helps her look more like a halfling.
Yes.
So I think that the combination of that piece plus your description will give Ashley something to work with, and then I just got to make sure Rock has that, and scales it correctly, and then we'll be fine. So.
And I like a long time ago, I looked this up, like what the counterbalance weight is supposed to be for a flail or whatever. In Rock's drawing so far, it's a real thin cylinder, and that
it's a very practical, like real life looking flail.
Yes, yeah. Fuck that. I want a big, fuck off, like clubby, spiky thing. Like that's what I envision. Like I could draw it out, but like I picture something a bit more oblong and bulbous, almost like more gourd's eyes, I guess. With you know what I mean? Okay. Like there's some weight to it. Like
a spiky gourd on a chain. I get it. A pumpkin weapon. Yeah.
Kinda. Not as round, but like something a Minotaur would put together. Like they're not.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, well, I will work with Ashley on the design. We'll approve that, then we'll hand it off to Rock, and we'll approve the final version of Elarath. So that's fine. Let's see. I got back to Brian with your notes. I have new Brunbruns and Tiggs.
Oh, hell yeah!
I'm never going to pronounce those correctly. Brunbrun, I'll send you that first. I still don't think it's quite as round as we want. He's rounder.
That's fatter.
So fat.
That's fatter.
Oh my god. I love him.
I mean, he's pretty round, but
he's pretty chunky.
Yeah.
But we want like an oh lord, he coming.
Yeah, I'm worried. Part of me was like, should I just draw over it and like draw a circle around and just send that to him? But
do you know what Do you know what my reference would be?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know when cats sit down and become bread?
Yeah. And
their little paws are just sticking out of a fucking bulbous round thing?
Yeah.
That's closer to what, like, I feel like almost. Yeah. But it's...
Bread loaf.
Yeah.
Cat loaf.
Yeah.
Yeah, cat loaf. Okay, I think we can get closer. I think one more, like, hey, like, whatever you think is probably too big, do that.
You know? Yeah.
Man,
that Tig. It still just looks like a fucking lemur.
It looks like a squirrel lemur.
Yeah, and it's not quite what I've... You know what I think we need to do is come up with some hardcore, minuscule note things specifically for the face and ears.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to have to sit and do that because otherwise it's not... I think we're just going to frustrate with notes like, not quite. We got to get really
it's not
granular.
That helpful to be like, don't make it look like this.
Right.
Yeah.
But here's the two things it looks like, but don't do that. Like, it just...
Yeah.
Because, like, okay, you look at the Brunbrun. And, yeah, that was always supposed to be like a cat and rabbit, but that doesn't look like just a cat with rabbit features. You know what I mean? It looks like its own thing.
Yeah, so let's do a round of like revised notes for those two before we get back to them. Because ideally, what I'd like to do is one more round of notes before we approve him for colors.
Yes. Yeah.
So, okay.
And it sounds like we just want the Brun to be fatter, so that'll be easy.
Yeah.
But,
and then just basically adjust the face of the Tig to make it look less lemur-y.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he did enlarge in the eyes, but not as much as I think we were talking about.
What if the snout were more squirrel-like? Like it had that little triangle squirrel nose versus like the snoot of a lemur? Would that fix it?
So, okay, in my head, I do picture the eyes as much larger. I picture the ears as a bit smaller. Like, it wouldn't...
Okay, so we'll come back with like hardcore
notes. There's hardcore notes.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll write that down.
I might have to just sit and draw it, and then like
Oh, please do.
I might have to do. Yes.
Dim Tig.
Yeah.
That Tig. Okay. Do I have any other art? Nope, that's the art I have. That's the rest of it that we didn't discuss last night. So,
Sweet.
Let me just run down the list of what else we need from people. Oh, I talked to Crowbar about the timeline for the Gods and Demons pages.
Yeah.
And she said that, like, for her, it would be best to wait, like, another few weeks before we even start.
Okay,
so,
that's okay.
I mean,
she was
I feel
very
like that's
fast
fine.
with that cover.
It's the only thing we've got her doing right now. So.
Yeah, she was
Okay.
super fast with that cover, so I think it'll be okay. So a few more.
But if you guys want to, I don't know how many of those descriptions you have for the entire Pantheon on both sides, but if you've got those ready to go, as soon as she says she's ready, we can just send it right away.
The gods are done.
Yeah, we got to sit and do the demons one by one.
The demons need to be done one by one, which they do have like basic descriptions, so they just need to be fleshed out a little bit more.
Yeah, and feel free to like adapt that template or something if that makes it faster. Yeah. You know, whatever. But I figure if we have all that information ready to roll, including if you want to be able to send her the lore write-ups for everybody too. I know we have the Pantheon done, but if we want to be able to do the demon lore write-up as well for context, that always helps the artists, it seems. So we can make that a priority to do through the month of August. And as soon as she says she's ready to roll, I can send her like a pamphlet. Like, here you go.
Yeah.
You know.
I was going to ask what our timeline's looking like for August, like what we're putting a priority on, because we're obviously getting back to the grind, as I was saying on Discord. We've got the first round of Arc 3 stuff to record, Vampire, DRP, 2 Patreon groups, on and on and on. So we're back to it. So we won't have as much time to write, but we still should have
I'm still
a decent
schedule,
chunk.
like writing days.
Yeah. I mean, my theory is, because you guys are obviously working on getting Arc 3 going and Dragon Con primarily this month, as well as continuing work on the book, right? Yeah. So my thought is we continue to focus on the items that are have artwork involved, right? So if it has art involved, we should at least start it so we can have something for the artists to start. But we've been doing that anyway, so we can continue that. I think that the tables are done, or at least the first draft of the tables are done, so that's great. We can do part of the reason that we wanted to get Jasper into one of these things soon is because we wanted to start getting everything into a final form for 10,000 Horns, right?
Yeah.
I think that's something we can do this month. So Jasper, so that I would like to, before Dragon Con, get you all the materials for the 10,000 Horn regions, just like we did for the Northlands, so we can basically start and start to get an idea of that page count that's terrifying me so much.
How big could it be, really?
Dude, we'll just do it size 5 font. It's fine.
Size 5 font?
Yeah, just package your magnifying glass.
That's what I was about to say. It comes with instead of 3D glasses, they're just magnifying glasses.
Microfiche.
I mean, don't just look at this as an opportunity for there to be the Adventurer's Guide to Theria and a supplement that also gets built with all the stuff that couldn't fit in the first one, and and we'll charge triple for that one.
Mm-hmm.
You hear that? Kickstarter
DLC for our book. People love that.
Is there a way? Yeah, is there a way we could work loot boxes into this? Like, okay, maybe they'll get 2 Susans and a Seraph. The Seraph would be a rare, and then we just, we give them characters they already have stat blocks for, and then we're kidding. Well, please don't think that.
I mean, honestly, I'm assuming you're not recording this, but honestly, what we could do is cut the page count down. Cut the page count down. That way we have less work to do, and nobody's going to notice.
Well, we should just have all the backers randomly, just as often as they want to. They can just mail us $10, and occasionally we just release a new page. Yeah, just occasionally.
I love. Okay, these are obviously all jokes. This is also why we're not good business people, because what we're doing, instead of all that, is creating a book, and then a second book, and then a third digital book on top of that.
For the price of one book.
We're so shrewd.
So sorry you ordered one book. Here's 3. Our bad. There's more. It's a $20 bill too in every book. So we just stick a crisp $20 bill in the cover.
And an IOU for a free blowjob from Jason.
One lucky listener gets my wallet. It's really just a ceremonial thing. There's nothing in it.
I was going to say the $20 is better.
You can have my wallet. That's worth nothing. So anyway, to answer your question, for August, I want to keep on focusing on the stuff that has artwork associated, because like we've said 100 times, as soon as we're done with the stuff that's related to the art, we're going to rip through the rest of this book.
Yeah.
So I'd like to keep focusing on that. I'd like to assemble a finished version of everything we need for 10,000 Horns, so we can start to set some stuff in place and see what it looks like.
Okay.
And I had one other thing, and I've drawn a blank on it. I mean, and honestly, I feel like the rest of it is like we have a ton of regions that are kind of mid-process right now. I think we just keep on working our way across the map, and we're pulling NPCs as we need them. Yeah. Like almost, I'll shift some stuff over to August because that's a really sparse column right now. Yeah. But I mean, I think we're in pretty good shape. Honestly, stuff's moving. You know.
From my perspective, me and Bree were talking about it. It so far, I'm either recording stuff or answering questions, and then Bree's working on lore stuff and fleshing out regions and things. It obviously, I'm going to be doing a lot more of the rules, tables type of stuff. So the region tables were the biggest project I could see on the horizon. After that, it's going to be vampires and scions and stuff like that, unless I'm forgetting something like off the top of my head. But those are going to be ones that are probably going to take a good 3-4 days each, somewhere in there, to get a good, like a first draft I'd want to show somebody. Because I want it to be as tight as the werewolf stuff, obviously.
Okay. Well, we've got the werewolf stuff for a template for that in terms of like all the pieces that we need to have in place, right? So that's not too bad.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that all makes sense to me. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that needs immediate attention. I'm not totally sure. So let me let me run down the artist list again and see if I need anything for these guys. Rock's all set. Roman, I'm going to check in with this week. Sierra, I still need you guys to pull together some examples of what you want for city crests.
Yep. That's like top of my list.
Yeah, so that we can get her going on those. I checked in with Xavier. I checked in with Ashley. Brandon is on standby. Saba I checked in with her, and as far as I know, she's still on track. I'm going to email her again tomorrow. Kat is on top of it. Arthur's on top of it. Lee Rastislav.
Yes.
Wants to do characters.
The $90, he's good with the money for that?
Yeah, he's good with the prices for that. Okay. Because I told him, I mean, like we talked about last week, I was like, hey, so this is what we have to offer?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So he was cool with that? It wasn't?
Yeah, and I also I kind of clarified our process too, because he made a comment that made me a little bit nervous about, like, well, for those prices, I hope, there's not a ton of rounds of revision. And I was like, well, there's going to be as much revision as there's needed. It's typically been like 2 or 3 rounds, but like we're not going to go crazy. But don't stop taking notes after a while.
Right.
So I think you'll be okay if we want to start him with 1 and see how it goes.
Yeah, let's drip feed. Let's maybe do. Yeah. So obviously he's doing full bodies.
Let me read his email back.
Okay, because that's I mean, they're like, again, I haven't worked with him in years. He was a super nice dude.
I don't even remember what his portrait work looked like, honestly.
It's actually pretty good. It looks almost oil painting-y.
Yeah. So. Yeah, he said, I do prefer characters and accent pieces, portraits and items, over landscapes. I don't do them very often, though I'm open for as much work as possible. I think that's in reference to landscapes. Feel free to send me a contract. Oh, I owe him a contract, too.
Okay.
So, but that's fine. I can send that to him as soon as possible. If you guys want to pick 1 or 2 pieces, we've been starting most people off with 1 bust and 1 full, if you want to do that, or just start them off on a full and leave the bust.
Let's start him off on a full. Let's just see, because, like, again, haven't worked with him in years. I want to make sure the communication's there. I want to make sure he's not going to do something like give us a finished piece and then get, like, upset that we want revisions to a finished piece before seeing it.
I mean, he's been pretty quick to respond and open to so far, so I'm not too worried. It's just some of that might be language barrier as well. I'm not totally sure.
Yeah, totally.
Where is he?
He's in like
Slovenia. He's
like Czech or something like that. Yeah. He's Eastern Europe.
Yes. Yeah, that general region.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So if you guys pick a piece for him, I'll get him the contract tonight or tomorrow.
Slovenia? That's not a fucking place.
I thought it was a joke.
Sure.
Did I just... I think Slovakia is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
I think I just made a fucking place up.
Oh,
Dumbass.
Pennsylvania.
No, Slovenia is a country.
Is it?
Oh my god. I learned a thing today.
The capital is Ljubljana.
That doesn't sound real.
You know what? Anna actually made some Ljubljana tonight, and it is.
It's situated directly.
She doesn't
between
cook often,
Croatia
but when she
and
does.
I love Ljubljana.
Ljubljana, I picture, is just a burlap sack filled with fish, and then you hit it with a meat tenderizer.
Is it a cryptid? Is it actually? I don't know. It's one of these things. It's a place. It's a revered city. It's a monster. It's a plate of curry.
Yeah,
We're all very American.
It's a plate of curry specifically from that city, is what it is. It's like champagne.
Yeah.
Not true Ljubljana.
Yeah. Otherwise, you feel it. It's sparkling Ljubljana. You can't say Ljubljana. It's sparkling.
They're very particular about it.
Oh man, I can't wait to see you guys in person later.
I know, right?
It'll be great.
Anyway, that's the whole roster. That's the entire art team caught up.
Awesome.
Most everybody's got something to do, and if they don't, they're about to get something to do. So
it sounds like outside of like getting notes back to you guys, the Brun, the Tag, where Gain actually did fail.
The city decal notes too.
Yep, got that on my Habitica already. But I need to make us have a review draft day soonish. Probably sometime next week I'll have a day where we're just going to go through drafts just to get the 10,000 Horn stuff moving.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that Jasper has something to do.
Yeah, speaking of Jasper having something to do, the other thing I just remembered that we wanted to ask you about was trimming the continent map for each of the regions in a way that's attractive. Because just cutting a square out sometimes, a lot of those regions aren't really square in shape, so we don't want to have too much regional stuff. But we talked about doing like burnt edges or fading it out or something, whatever you know.
So you're talking about like, for example, in the Northlands. So it's like there's a big square thing, and there's a paragraph at the very top that says the Northlands are a really great place to raise your kids or whatever, and then there's a big square thing, and it doesn't quite match because you're like, where am I supposed to look?
Exactly.
That was honestly one of the things when I was putting it all together. I'm like, there's about 20 things that I want to revisit that are going to make this one level deeper of refinement and interest. Yeah. And that's one of the specific things too, because I realized how you focus in on some of these areas,
it's
right?
tough.
They're going to be basically the same map. Yeah. So if you don't do something creative, I honestly think that we can either do something that's templated, where it sort of focuses in a little bit more, but frankly, these regions are so various in the ways that their boundaries are. I think it might just end up being bespoke per region, and we'll just have to I'll just go through and make a sort of a stab at it and say, like, what do you think about this, and we'll see how it goes. But like, it could be like burnt edges around everything, or it could be like as though someone's ripped a map, but each of the rips is a different shape and form.
Oh, okay, yeah. Like a makeshift jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like the islands should be pretty easy because they're kind of limited on their own. But do you do like a little bit of water behind them that fades into the page or something like that? So I like the idea of a different solution for each region, give it its own kind of character.
Yeah,
even if it's mild.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
Yeah. And I'm glad you mentioned that too, because I think Val brought this up recently, is that we want to make sure that we're going back to the stuff that was in the preview build and revising pretty much all of it, because she was picking out like typos and stuff left and right just by reading through the PDF. So I want to make sure we don't forget to revisit pretty much everything that was in there in just about every way.
Yeah, it was truly a draft, and it's meant to be. And if it had been up to me, not if it had been, you know what I mean. There would have been like a big, preview only on every single page, because it was really meant to be here's what it's going to kind of roughly look like, but things are going to change completely as we go further and further.
Right, and it's obviously, I think everyone understands that. I think they were so impressed with it being that far along for this being our Kickstarter pitch. One, we probably gave way too much of the book away in terms of like, here's this vertical slice. It's only 64 pages. Just take it. Like,
right.
And well, I think that was something that set our stuff apart. People knew that it's like, oh, you guys, okay, you're way further in the process than if you just had some concept art and a couple of paragraphs and an idea. Like you've thought this through. So I do think that helped. It is one of those things where we're going to have to go back and retrofit everything. Yeah. Because obviously 100%. That can't be 64 pages when we're done. Yeah, that just can't be.
Yeah.
No, there were a lot of liberties taken, not knowing what the rest of the content would even end up being or what it would be like. And there's a lot of stuff in there that would just, to me, it's very much like what we're doing with the art right now, which is, there's an almost final draft. Are we good with it? Let's make a couple of tweaks. I want it to be such that people get the stuff that they saw in the preview and they're like, holy shit, they actually made it great. Not
they
just
finished
really
it.
Good,
but, yeah.
Yeah, they did it again. This shouldn't feel like, oh good, I already had some of that on a PDF. This should be like, oh shit, and they took that and really went.
So we didn't give away 64 pages of the book. We showed them a draft of 60 some pages of the book.
As I was concerned, that it was.
Yeah.
So, okay. Something me and Bree talked about. There's one area of the book right now where if I wanted to fatten it up a bit, it would be beasts.
Yeah, the bestiary.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we could fatten that up by maybe 5 or 10 entries.
Can we come back to that?
Sure. Sure. And I know, like, my initial thought was like, we don't need to put things like hill giants in there and all that stuff. There are a few creatures that, like, drakes. Okay, if you're going to Drake Island.
Drake Island, and it was like, okay, so what's on Drake Island? Well, there are these bunch of really cool Therian-specific drakes, and it's like,
why aren't those in the thing?
Those should probably be in the bestiary, because they're Therian-specific.
I don't. We could totally revisit this. It is something that, like, I don't know. I thought about.
And they wouldn't all get art.
No, God, no. But, like, there is something. There's Jasper Belly.
I know.
It is something that, like, I don't want people to be disappointed.
It was really framing it. Like,
yeah.
I thought it was on purpose. I thought we were just getting a show.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we can come back to that later.
Yeah.
When you say fatten up, do you mean just including more, or do you mean actually making more pages? And I think that's the concern.
Well, here's the thing: by adding more, we're going to add more pages. But
we don't know how many pages there are yet.
Or you could go like this, where it becomes more of a reference area, right? You get several things per page, rather than these big, huge, 4th edition type. Like there's 2 spreads for one monster. Like it doesn't have to be like that.
And here's the thing: I don't picture I picture most of the things in the bestiary, like the Tig and the Brunburn and all that stuff. I picture we could slam 4 or 5 of these on a page. I'm fine with that because they're small creatures. They're meant to flesh out the world, and their stats. No one's going to be taking. I don't think anybody's going to be taking these and making encounters out of them. They're more just, you can go hunting and they're there.
Yeah.
Something like a sheep might be like half a page just because of how, how much art we have and you know what I mean? But like, I'm not picturing any of these getting a full page unless we did something like, a Ruth Lamar or some huge dragon that would, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I like the idea, and I'm all about putting as much into the book as we can constantly fit. My concern is let's worry about fitting the stuff that we already
and that totally makes sense.
If we get to the bestiary and it's like, hey, the whole bestiary is like 11 pages, and we have room, then hell let's add as much as we can. I'm all about that. It's not about adding the work, it's just about making everything fit.
And this is one of those kind of damned if you do, damned. I didn't want to spring that idea on you on day fucking 204, and you go, what? And I also
what you should have done is just slyly add the cards into the Trello.
What are you talking about, Jameson? They were always there. We were always doing 86 monsters. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, although a Therian monster manual would be pretty fucking cool.
God damn it!
Pretty fucking cool.
Look,
Look, when we're done with all the continents, we could just gather up all the beasts, and that can be released as its own book. That if you don't want all the continent books, it's just a bestiary.
I would absolutely adore that. I would love it. Like Jameson said, let's work on one book at a time.
That's August.
Just whatever. I think we could bang that out while we're at Dragon Con, honestly. Let's just stay up all night.
Sitting down at the bar,
We can do that instead of watching a movie. That'd be great. I would much rather work on the book than watch it.
How dare you,
You could go to the movie and work on it back there. In the back.
That'd be all right. Yeah.
We'll shush other people in the audience.
There won't be other people in the audience.
There's never other people.
There were 2 other people at Slenderman, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, they were on a
date.
date.
They fall asleep?
No, one person just left. But they were on a date, so I don't think they were paying attention to the movie.
Slenderman was great.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Oh,
still shaking. I'm livid.
Sorry, I just remembered something. For Andrew with the landscapes.
Yeah.
I got back to him with the notes about Ebony Harbor. I haven't heard back yet, but that's okay. He's probably not crushed.
Okay.
But I also wanted to get the ball rolling on getting him his next piece, which I assume is going to be overdue. But if you wanted to do something else, because we talked about giving him all the big sky stuff because he's so good at it.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if you had a different piece in mind for him, but whatever that is, let's start getting the materials together for that too.
Did we need anything else for 10,000 Horns?
Not for landscapes, no.
No? Okay.
We have things written out right now, for White Wolf Valley, Yamgar Swamp, and the White Raven Cave.
Sure.
Right.
If we wanted to have something right now for him, those are written.
Okay.
We might want to sit down and do Overdale just so we could give Sierra a reference for that crest.
I think I did write out Overdale, too.
I know we worked on it. I don't know if we have a formal write-up.
Okay. Well, I mean, we're still waiting on that last revision of Ebony Harbor. I just wanted to make sure because he's knocking these out pretty good, but this is a bit more involved than most of the character stuff. So I want to make sure we always have something for him to work on.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit disappointed that the module guy didn't want to do landscapes. I get it because they take longer, and that's not what he's interested in right now. But it would have been really cool to have 2 people on landscapes.
Well, my main thing is when Saba's done with the cast. We're going to put her on landscapes for some of the grungier stuff, I think.
Like Yamgar Swamp. That's why I didn't want to say Yamgar Swamp a second ago, because I was like, I know that we have Saba on call for...
And I'm always where Andrew does pretty so well. I'm like, can you do ugly well, though? Because Yamgar Swamp is not a pretty place.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, if we want to, well, I can even just ask and be like, hey, how do you feel about doing, not pristine, gorgeous landscapes?
I love the ones he's done. They're perfect. But...
They're beautiful. That Winter Haven one is just so beautiful. There's something about that, sun setting, that it's just something about it's like, damn, that really takes you there. I don't know.
Cool. So I'm going to have to get going in a minute before I get in trouble. But is there anything else we want to run through real quick before we
I have a question about coins.
Oh, shit! Yes, sorry. I just had to send an email out today because it's 9 days, and I'm like, they never got back to me. So I hit up Mark. They're at Gen Con right now. He said, I'm so sorry that fell through the cracks. We were prepping a bunch of booth stuff. So they're going to get back to me on the 8th or 9th, I believe he said, of August. And they'll be able to tell us more then. I don't know if that's exactly what they were looking for. So, I mean, I want to nail it down perfectly before they actually mint us some coins.
Yeah, and I was going to all that detail because it was like, I'd rather over-communicate and just be like, what do you think? And then if he comes back and says, well, there's a couple of things here, you can really say, just whatever you think is best from this point forward, do whatever you want to, and it'll be completely fine. We don't have to, do a lot of heavy lifting. But I don't know. I just felt like over-communicating would be bad.
Yeah, I mean, look, from what I saw and understood, it looked pretty comprehensive, so hopefully...
and obviously, that looked gorgeous.
I told her face.
I
that was
absolutely
Elle. She had an idea for dinner tonight.
Well, I'll get back to Elle in just a sec.
I just wanted to make sure she wasn't outside carrying in
priorities.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I've read your phone. Just
Dude,
right out in front of your fucking nose.
We're out of everything. We're out of everything in the house, and she was kind enough to go grocery shopping while we're here.
Yeah,
it's
while
like,
we were doing
oh my
this.
God, I love you. Thank you. We don't have paper towels. We have nothing.
So I just
in the
wanted
house.
to make sure she wasn't going to start carrying stuff in and break her leg again.
Yeah. So
anyway.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Queens, 8th or 9th of August.
Yeah, we'll be hearing back from them soonish. We got you stuff for Dragon Con, so you know roundabout what we need. So we're gonna have a lot of stuff at Dragon Con. Oh, we just got check this shit out. Okay, this has nothing to do with the book. So we just got an email today from Rush and Patrick, and they have a brand new setup for Augusta 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. There's actually going to be there's a new sound mixer. They're going to have a hard cam that is just there facing everybody.
Yeah.
It's going to be set up for streaming. There's going to be a wireless connection and everything.
They're trying to get nice lighting.
Yeah, they're trying to add extra lights and shit. Oh. I'm so fucking I'm so excited, man. It's going to be great.
It's awesome.
Excellent.
Yep. Should look really great on those posters.
Yeah.
That lighting.
I want those looming.
We should just get those right behind whoever's talking at any given time. Just carry them in.
I want to get those to loom over every single panel so that there's no way you can't know that there's a live
Well, that
show.
one should be the Valis one then, because he's very good at looming.
He's good at looming. All right.
Okay.
I think we're good to go. We'll get back to work and get stuff done.
Well, I will continue to send you stuff as I get it.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for coming, Jasper.
Bye.
That was super last minute for you.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
I
No,
thought
it's
you
totally
just hung
fine.
up.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.